call the Conservation Commission meeting to order of April 8th. Two. It will be roll call. Nina Regan. Pickwell.
Dave and President.
Yes.
Yes.
Deb Knapes. Maureen Collins.
Peter DeLisa.
Collier Ballard.
Jones.
Minute Walker staff. Janice Flynn. Recording crew. Yeah, thank you. Let's start with the minutes from March. That was sent out. Oh, I'm headed to. Nothing's on that. No edits or anything, do I have a motion to approve the minutes from March 11th? No. I'll second it. Give me a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstained? Okay, you have that as Joe and all right. Correspondence and announcements. I don't have anything. The only thing I was going to ask whether it falls under this or not. Did we receive Larry's official resignation letter? No,
Not as far as I know. I checked, it was a no, and then I was told that they'll let us move in with that.
maybe. So we need to, it needs to be a written letter signed, taken to the town clerk. It's just official town business when somebody resigns the office of commission. Yeah, to make it official, they sent an email, but that doesn't work, so. I'll text him and say, hey, because we can't really replace him until that happens. So, effective all official. So that's the only thing I had, did anything from that from?
Let me see, is there anything that we're going to cover in the agenda? Let's say that on the 10th, which is Thursday,
Oh, yeah.
Kathy Collins is going to present the tree and shrub guide at the library at 6. It's the only thing, everything else will just be on the agenda.
That clean up, we'll just mention when we open up, or you want to just, you send it out to us if you want to just say stuff.
The shoreline sparkle, did you all see the announcement of the shoreline sparkle? So I don't know what more I can really say about that. I don't know that much more about it. We found out about this pretty recently, so it wasn't really enough time for the Conservation Commission to get very involved and have their own project going on. But it starts the week before the environmental fair. And it's that whole week ending on the day of the environmental fair. There, this is sort of an initiative of the Chamber of Commerce, and they're really trying to encourage people to recycle and clean up around their businesses. And then they talk about, or they're publicizing all these ways to get rid of things, trash and recycling and things that you don't want anymore. So that's really the effort. And then they're having some sort of raffle. You post a picture of the proof getting rid of some trash, then you get them to a raffle.
Yeah, we weren't really that organized. I just got to be in my bonnet about the trash on my great comic. So I went out there with Alan and Lori. You went one way. We never saw each other. I think we covered the house.
And there was a stake in your bags. I saw you were there somewhere.
Yeah.
So your days.
These things all seem to be happening in conjunction with it. Yeah, there's a lot going on that day.
Yeah. No, I think it's a great
So we provided them with a lot of information about where they could people could get rid of their stuff, their unwanted stuff, and one of it came from an article that the Conservation Commission did, that was
Oh, yeah.
all that was still
Yeah.
relevant, so I sent them that information. So that's what they used to publicize this. So that's that week, and there's also a program at Acton Library, same day as the environmental fair. I think that's geared more towards children. And then the tree giveaway is the same day, right? So
Yeah.
it's trees giveaway is the same day. So there'll be a lot of people in town, and hopefully they'll go to all these events.
I know.
Visit all of them. And I thought maybe if we had a flyer at the other events, to promote
I know.
the environmental fair, so people are done early. Should we do
Those
those
yard
yard signs? They're not cheap.
I know, yeah.
We've got them before. They're like, I don't know, 20, ours were $25 each approximately, so. It adds up quick.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I thought I was gonna bring up something, you know, when we talk about this environmental care, because the only other thing I'd mentioned too, that's sort of in conjunction with kind of clean up is that the Rotary is sponsoring their shred day.
September 15th, I think, at the high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another good time if you don't have a shredder at home to take.
But yeah, I had noticed that because of the yard signs.
Yeah, I did, I know.
So
They're
it made me
everywhere.
think, oh, wow,
Yeah.
that's, if you really get your attention.
Yeah, it does, and I thought about it too, but, you know, they do have a little bit bigger budget. On it. We do, and I'm not sure, and they just probably put it quickly here like we did, so.
It would be on the electronic sign, not to get ahead of you.
Yeah, we can figure about that, yeah. All right, well, let's get down to the committee, representative staff reports. So, Peter, inland wetlands. And I guess that's probably a good time to talk about the letter.
Yeah, I guess that's the only major thing going on right now. So,
Okay. Yeah, so the new date is April 17th.
Yeah.
Right?
Next Thursday
6, yeah, next Thursday, so,
That's that.
at 7.
oh, so, okay. Before the first thing I was gonna ask, and Lynette, maybe you can tell me too, because we have done this in the past. I'm thinking we should address this to all the commissions. We have this IWWC, or would we copy, because I feel like zoning and everybody should know our stance. In the past, we've done that with smaller things, actually. So I think that would be the one thing I think should letter, it's just a put,
It will need to go through zoning.
yeah, so I think zoning, I have to look at the previous letters, it's sort of, what would be. Right.
Also see if planning is going to have any involvement in this. I'm not sure.
Certainly the board of selectmen. I feel like there's some other group that should be. They don't get it.
It's residential, so probably not. Gateway?
Oh, I can check it. I will need to get emails for some of these. Oh, I guess I can probably find it on the website. Okay, all right. So that was the first thing I was just gonna bring up is who you address it to. So, no, Joe, I thought you did a great job. I can't even think of anything to add. My first thought was, well, it is long, but you know what, there's a lot to cover. And people can, I don't know, what do you guys think? Is there any thoughts on anything that we should highlight more or?
I just started, had an edit to one of the paragraphs. I was wondering, and it might just be what language are we using, what makes sense, but, instead of speaking of it throughout the letter as, as the open space, it's the fourth paragraph, and so I transferred the language we're talking about, the space, to protected wetland. So I said the owner of the parcel wishes to build on the existing open space, which is protected wetland, period. And then from then on, talk about wetland and exchanging wetland for wetland.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So I know it's our, I think you got that language from our charge, which is about open space, but the
Right, I was
particular
trying to
open
keep it
space,
in
right,
line.
I got that. And then, yeah, so I have Mary proposes to create a new wetland in another area of the parcel. I can give you what I'm written here. The new area of the parcel, while on the surface this may appear to be fair trade, then I just said mature functional wetlands are complex ecosystems and difficult to recreate. And then talk about the difficulty, and it's not a simple exchange.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so
yeah.
I think then the rest of the letter would be the difficulty, because it's just not, it's
Yeah, no,
it's not
that's
simple
the-
puzzle piece for puzzle piece.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah.
So,
Just to add a little information to this discussion, and I think I mentioned this before, but the applicant has a soil scientist, wetland scientist working for them, and the Wetlands Commission also has a soil scientist analyzing the proposal on their behalf. So we do have two expert opinions as well, and that's in all the material, all the application materials that are available.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and reread.
I can reread it, but my understanding was there's difficulty in recreate, I mean, I did read it.
Yeah, I thought one of
But
them.
I think
Yeah,
I pretty much said it's not a simple task.
yeah,
So our letter would mostly be saying,
Confirming
This
what
is
they
a-
said.
we
Yeah.
are concerned with this and confirming.
yeah, because I think that was, one of the things I said a couple meetings ago, and that there is a lot of information and what do you want to call it, documentation and justification that he is putting out there to say, this is why I should be able to do this. So I think, we need to make sure we address those things that he says, and we're not coming out of left field, which we're not, but, I think that was the thing with reviewing some of that material. And I like that, I'm assuming that either whether it's a tree committee or SOS Trees will say something about the trees, but I think this is the really important piece. You don't really want to lose trees. They're going to cut down a lot of dead trees. I'm not going to get too upset about that, and natives. But I think that the most important part is, what it can do to the whole water system. Okay, so if you want to give me your edits and I'll put those in, I can change that. I'll just make the header,
Sure.
the stuff that we do anyway with that.
Yes.
And then I can either work with you or Chris to just get it all to the right people.
Yeah, I can ask her who will be reviewing this.
Yeah, because I know it's been a while since we've done one of these, and I can't remember. I think I found all their emails and it came directly from me. I don't feel like it should come from Chris. It should come from us. And I can say on behalf of the Conservation Commission, this letter addresses. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah.
really well done.
I think the important thing I try to stress is everything's different now than when that thing first formed, when the wetlands first formed. Everything's changed, climate-wise, everything. And so there's the chance of ever reproducing that again is next to nothing. Maybe
Yeah.
that happens. And you got environment, you got people, and I think people forget that. You're not out in the sticks somewhere where the natural environment will fill and if it's wounded. It's not that we have all houses, and they're putting more houses.
I know, right?
There's 4 houses that are built. The
Yeah.
drainage, just everything's different.
Yeah, the impact that would have that can't really even be known and measured.
Yeah. So, see,
Okay, all right, so I will, I'll take care of this in the next 4 days. And get it out to the appropriate people. All right,
If we could get it tomorrow.
Mhm.
I know that's very ambitious, but the packets for the members are put out Thursday morning. Then they would get it in their actual packet that they pick up and take home and review for the week. Otherwise, we'll just post it online and it'll be available.
Yeah, no, I
Bring
don't-
copies
I
to
think
the
it's a great
meetings later.
Yeah, no, I have like, I think I'll go home and do it because I have a really full day tomorrow, but if you, yeah, just, if you want to give me your thing right now, and I'll just, or your
You want
edits.
me to work on it tomorrow? Because I just did that one paragraph. I didn't bring the language through the rest of the letter. That'll be.
Oh, all right, yeah, if you want to
So-
do that and then send it to me, because I
I
will
wanna
have
make it
moments
consistent.
tomorrow, and then in the meantime,
Figure out who
I
gets
can
it.
take care of the header and get that all straight away, and then
I
and then
can
get it out
right.
to you. Yeah, I'll have a
Okay.
break at some point. Because I'll take my iPad with me tomorrow when I'm going to be doing, and I'll.
So tomorrow
Okay.
morning,
Okay, that'd be great.
try to
Thank
bring
you.
that language through the rest of it, keep the same argument. but-
Anytime tomorrow is fine, because our third fuller, so Janice will be putting the packet together Thursday. If I can throw it on letter Thursday morning, we'll do so.
Okay.
So it's not like we need it early tomorrow, anytime tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Reserve Management Committee, really just for the sake of time and, because I want to spend time on our environmental piece. There's really nothing significant to add. We're sort of at status quo. The forest management plan is kind of hung up because there's some points made by Rose up to CEPQ, which is the, don't ask what CEPQ is, but it's sort of state level that looks at actually the environmental impact of taking trees down in the preserves and all that sort of thing. So the only bad thing about that is that until the forest management plan is approved 100% final, or whatever approval sort of piece it needs to get to, we can't work on the public use plan. And that's where we're going to review the trails and talk about, do we want to put up signs to limit it or to keep the bikers off certain trails, all that sort of thing. So that's the only unfortunately disappointing thing about the hang up there is the public use is going to get pushed. But
Okay, so that is not final yet. That's probably my conclusion. All right, so we're still there.
I'm hoping that in my lifetime. But then, I've already said it at the CMC meeting. I've said I don't show a lot of grade, but by the time I may be showing. Okay, how about land trust for you?
Okay, land trust is, there's nothing, nothing really has progressed. They're still waiting for land to be transferred from the Elm Street property, which is the medical, behind the medical building. I think do you know about the property that is transferred? I'm assuming it had to do with the development of that lot, and then they made a deal to transfer wetland. So,
Yep.
but that hasn't been transferred yet.
Okay.
Ayers Point, they're still waiting for a little bit of money from Corps of Engineers. There's a vernal pool walk on April 12th, that is this Saturday. I think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And they're publicizing our fair and are looking forward to participating in that. Their annual meeting is the 27th. It's open to the public. It's the 27th at 2:00 in the pavilion. And Joe, our very own Joe Russo is speaking at it. I'd be really surprised.
It's fine. Yeah,
Yeah,
right after the fair.
okay.
What time is that?
That's at 2:00
Okay.
on Sunday.
I went to it a long time ago.
That's at Saybrook.
Yeah. Parks and Rec.
Yeah, so I went to the first meeting. I think the vast majority of it was about getting to the fact they renewing the vendor that was there for the Palm Beach. It was- Yeah, I think it was in the news about it. I don't have a specific note, but I didn't get it to you about who the vendor is. But it's the same person that's been long debate about that, because there's two people wanting to do it. And, so I think it's defaulting, but we'll just keep it fun. So, but at any rate, we also, so I'm representing the, commission here on, cleanup of the town park. So I'm leading it with Kathy Conley.
Oh, okay.
We're getting volunteers to clean the path. We're supposed to do it next week, about 8
Yeah.
So I don't know, this weekend, something near too,
Yeah.
but eventually we will get out there. And so we're looking for volunteers, we've already recruited a couple. But anyway, so
Clean up as in like
trim
trimming.
the paths and everything. There's a lot of work he said, it's pretty good. And, you know, a lot of faces with that. But it's, so, but anyway, it's a lot of people.
Oh, okay.
So that's the only other new thing that's coming. Wasn't a whole much, I mean, there's a lot of, you know, stuff relative to that. And,
Yeah, and I, you know, I think we find that it's just nice to sometimes when there is things that overlap.
right.
But it is interesting, I'll just make the, you know, sort of commentary that when you read Harbor News, I've seen it probably more in Clinton, but the whole vendor selection seems to just generate a whole lot of stuff for these beaches. Like, I don't know if it's a little, I don't know, if it's a big little money thing for anybody who gets it, but
No, you're bringing up a good point. I mean, that was the whole argument. There's, you know, I guess historically there was vendors in the past more spread out over it, but now in more recent times, they just don't have the facilities and space. So they have to limit it. And of course, you know, there's always bad feelings because somebody's gonna be like.
yeah.
And I know what you mean, in the Harbor News Day, someplace had to fix it up with like a huge amount of money to
Yeah.
fix a place so they could have the vendor. And that got canned because they didn't spend the money. But this is, they have their own standard. They got their own, you know, little truck vendor. So, that-
Yeah, each time they've been over there.
you know, what I'm talking about. So, anyway.
Nina, what's the people?
There's no items relating to Saybrook on the March agenda. There's nothing on April so far, but I think now we have something that will go on the agenda. And then they are participating in our environmental fair, give us a gift, and they're also gonna have a children's activity.
Oh.
We started planting in the greenhouse, the past like 3 weeks. We've had like planting day once a week during flex, which is like our free period. And then I've been in communication with someone from the garden club who's gonna come help us during flex on Thursday this week, and then probably again in the future. We also just created Earth Day t-shirts that we're gonna sell to fundraise for the camping trip we have in May.
Oh,
And 2 of our members made and designed those. And then we have the stewardship with the land trust on the 26th in the morning at Airs. And 2 like non-ecology club related things, but capstone projects are 2 people are making over the pollinator garden. It was once a pollinator garden, but they're like making it over again. That's in the front of our school. It's in like the center of the parking lot on the little strip of land there. Yeah. So 2 people are doing that, and then another junior is hosting like a green up day on April 27th. Where like anyone in the town, and like she's really trying to like broadcast the high school students can like go to like there's 3 different spots in the town where like trash bags will be passed out, and then people can pick up trash for however long they want. And yeah, just it's like all day, but she'll be there at each location. Or, like someone will be at each location.
how are you selling the t-shirts? Are they, can like we get them, or does anybody get them, or is it sort of in the school?
I think it's mostly it's in the school. We're gonna sell to our ecology club members first, and then we'll open it up to like lunch periods. If everyone else wants to buy them, yeah. It says be the change, and it's like a little bee picking up trash.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
Yeah.
good. Great ideas, great students over there. I saw your name up out on the board again. You got.
Oh, actually, yes.
All right.
Sport.
I play soccer and then I do indoor and outdoor track. Oh, yeah. I have a few people online.
Okay.
Oh, good. Oh, right, yeah, I know. They're gonna miss you. Okay, sustainable CT.
So just plugging away and documenting all these great things that are happening, just a few of the things that you mentioned today. We'll probably get credit like the forest management plan that's come and done. We probably apply that. Any land acquisition done by the land trust, if the town is involved in any way, we get credit for that.
It'll be the town is involved in the racquetball
Okay.
parcel, so just waiting for the final agreement, but that's the credit for that.
So that would be more credit, the trail maintenance that Parks and Rec is doing. That would get credit. Yeah, some of those things could probably get credit for sustainability. Sustainability projects, sustainability events, those are like one-day events. And the pollinator garden too, if they rehab that pollinator garden, I think that will count.
Yeah.
Pollinator garden credit.
Oh,
This is sustainable Connecticut. So that is a program that the town's involved in, it's statewide. Towns can sign up with the Sustainable Connecticut program, and it's kind of like a mission to do as many sustainable activities as possible to convert your town to doing, more sustainable practices. So it's quite complex. Many towns are involved. And we've been doing it since 2018. We've been certified, but you have to recertify every 3 years. So it's kind of an ongoing process now where we keep track.
What do you get? Is there some besides
You,
recognition?
well, you do good things, so.
Drop in a skate.
Yes, this is not a state-run project, it's privately funded.
Oh,
So, yeah, it's just, mostly doing it, it's mostly offering kind of a bunch of guidelines or framework for doing things more sustainably for towns. So they can, if they want to do this, it really helps by organizing all these different projects.
And it runs the gamut of
Yes.
that sounds,
heating, I mean, just everything, in addition to the obvious things like pollinator garden.
There's definitely environmental aspect to it, but it's a lot of other things, human health and economic growth, and there's a whole, I can tell you more about it some other time.
no,
But we are gold certified now, which is the highest level right now. And one of the few towns in the state when it happened. I think more towns are gold certified. I think we were only the second in the state next to New Haven to get gold certified. So now we're on a mission.
And we got the climate.
And the climate leader. Mhm. Yeah, so, we keep track of all the
Sure.
great things that we're doing, and we apply these to our future certification and try to take on new projects too. But everyone's doing so much good work that there is a lot of new stuff that we really, at least not from the Conservation Commission's perspective, that we have to do. We have to work with other commissions and departments to do things a little more sustainably too, to get more credit. So that's where we stand right now.
When was the file again?
2027. Oh, okay.
Wow,
Yeah.
just did it.
17 years old, comes around, seems to come real quick.
Open space. So we've been
been working on the, protection plan information, and I'll shoot it over to you, Lori, hopefully by the end of the week. And then, did you want more of a written synopsis, or I started kind of like a chart, property, how it was selected, and
I would say maybe something written, doesn't have to be a full-blown report, but something just discussing the methodology.
Okay.
You know, how you selected those parcels and you kind of, reference the documents that you used as justification for the criteria that you selected, use, just to show that this really came from, you know, the plan of conservation and development, any other stewardship plan, whatever documents we have. We talked about this before. Once two things, right? And, maybe just a couple paragraphs should be enough. And then I think the chart showing which parcels met certain criteria. I think we want to make a big project. Putting it into an actual, you know, like sort of report format makes it easy to hand it out and reference it. Okay. Great.
All right. Pollinator pathway in education.
So we had a great meeting today, about the garden and where to go to, with it. So Chris and Lori and Peter and I were there, as well as Bonnie Tenders, who's a master gardener. And I typed up some notes. I was going to just circulate them to the people that were there, make sure that I didn't miss anything. And then I don't know what we'll do with an unofficial meeting about notes, but just anyone who wants them, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I guess for the record, it was just a very, very ad hoc group that met to just figure out what we want to plant, what we need to plant, because we've had plants die, plants that have been successful and others not so much. So I think we've all learned a lot, and Bonnie's been so helpful. So I think there was a good meeting of the minds today, and with enough experience to say, all right, you know, we can pick these plants and,
Yeah, so we came up with a list, of plants that we want. We think would be a good balance, color, yeah, height,
seasonality.
yeah.
Do you have to worry about the salinity down there? Like, does that get inundated with
Well,
river water?
I don't know about inundated, but it gets salt. It's salt air.
Oh, salt air, right.
Salt air,
And
yeah,
then that comes in the soil.
yeah.
I wonder if that's what happens with these plants that didn't.
Yeah, we did, I
Like
mean,
salt tolerant ones, so that was.
Oh,
A lot of them, yeah.
right. Yeah, we did talk a lot about what happened to the ones that died, and, we talked about the soil, which is okay. You know, Bonnie had done another soil test last year, and it's pretty good. Talked about the two trees that are shading it a little bit. Are they getting enough light? But we thought that they were. But then we had a big discussion about water and whether they're overwatered, because the sprinkler system that's there is watering it daily, and that it might be better
Yeah.
with native plants to do it every 2 to 3 days. Is what the thought was.
Yeah, and we were meeting at Parks and Rec, so I popped over to ask Ray to clarify, actually. He said, yeah, water's for 15 minutes, but there are zones. You know, it's like zone 1 and 2 and 3, so we're thinking, you know, as we get closer to watering time, figure out what zone we are, maybe circle back with him. You can't turn off individual things, it's just one unit, but we may be able to say, don't water zone 1, you know, whatever it is, fine. Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever, you know, kind of thing. So we'll hopefully be able to work that out with him, because we've had a lot of powdery mildew and stuff, and again, it's so hard to tell, but
Is that what they died of?
no rabbits.
Oh,
Yeah,
Found the
yeah.
places.
We only had powdery mildew on one, on the
Yeah,
bee
on
balm.
bee balm, yeah.
But a lot of the little plants, like the butterfly milkweed, when we planted them, they got eaten right away, and then asters, the bunnies went after, so then Chris brought down some netting, and that helped save the asters. We want to do some butterfly milkweed again. So we did some online research about how to deter bunnies, and some interesting methods, but we're gonna go with marigolds. which
Yeah, they
actually
are,
deter-
they react to smell.
Yeah,
So you can
yeah,
get,
those
you
are the
know,
interesting methods.
sort of similar.
Coyote urine and other
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, things that They're predator.
Pet coyote.
I said, bring down bobcats and we have.
Then they're gone. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm excited to, we've got some great ideas, and there's nothing, it's all kind of typical, pollinator plants, nothing difficult. I feel like we were really thoughtful about what will work and Ronnie's advice. And our plants, so.
Yeah, so I guess the only thing is like the next steps would be, figuring out when we're gonna buy plants and then having choose a day to do some planting.
Yeah. Which I think we agreed was May.
May,
Yeah.
May for the plant.
I think I said maybe bunch of it.
No. Because in fact, thank you for saying that, because I used to get it like regularly and I haven't gotten it in like a long time.
Okay, I didn't print out the whole budget, but I did check on the amount of money left in the pollinator account. And it was something like, but it was something like 217.
But we should be able, can't we can use some of our other funds, right? Does it have to be the pollinator plant money?
I don't, let me talk to Chris about that.
We may go over that considering,
Yeah,
we will go over,
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
But
I mean, it's not like be prudent as much as we can, but.
200.
yeah. It's not much.
There are quite a few pollinator pathway signs left. If those could be sold at the environmental fair, that would raise some money. We have 3 big ones, which are $20.
Okay.
And quite a few, at least 10.
Oh,
For the small $10, so.
Great.
But there's a pollinator pathway table at the fair. Not sure.
Yeah, are we having our own table as well?
I thought so.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'll just have our stuff.
Conservation Commission.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so maybe
So
have it
that
there.
Down
table.
there.
Yeah,
And if anything's left after that, I'll take it to the garden club.
great. Right.
And then we'll have to replenish after that. Because that'll be the end of the sign, that'll be up to the sign. If you sell them all, you'll
Yeah.
have to get more,
Okay.
which don't cost, obviously, don't cost that much, they cost less, and it's for the property.
Yeah,
Have to reserve a little money to restock.
to restock, okay.
Okay. Okay. Let's see, tree preservation, I think the only thing, I don't remember, and that wasn't in the minutes, so maybe I either didn't know it at the time, but the tree committee has obtained a grant for $10,000 to do a tree inventory in the town. So I know we've been talking about this for a long time, even our commission way back talked about wanting to do this, and so, I don't know any major details. I mean, I'm not sitting in on this meetings or anything, but I do get the minutes, and I don't think that there's a ton of detail other than they got the money. And they're gonna try to figure out who's qualified to do it. And we have a new town tree warden assigned. So hopefully he will be. Have some good input.
Is this what SOS or is this?
No, this is, actually, I can report on both. The SOS is the ones that just give away the trees. I can't say just, but, they're sort of wanting to be educational about, be thoughtful about cutting down trees, but if you have to replant. And then the tree committee was formed last year. After,
Okay, because they had a proposal out, I think, for doing just this, that they have a proposal.
did they might, yeah, they might
Yeah,
have,
to-
yeah.
To do the inventory, so I don't know if you were coordinating.
Yeah, no, my husband sits on the committee, but I don't know.
Okay,
the kind of
so-
stuff going on, but-
So this is money from the town to do that.
but they got it from, they got it from somewhere too.
I got it from DEEP. It's the
Was it deep?
Urban and Community Forestry Planning Grant.
And I think the town empties up some.
Well, they might be
I don't know,
contributing,
yeah.
maybe it's a matching grant,
Um,
not sure.
And I know the only other thing that I'd like to mention too, that is, they had identified the space, their amount of open space, for lack of another word, in front of Stop and Shop, that whole development piece over there. There's a few trees there, but there's a lot of emptiness. And so they've actually met with the owner of that complex and he's agreed to put in more trees. So, all right. So I think, don't put this in the minutes, but I think he's even saying he'll pay for them. So he's very amenable to making that space look more nicer.
Can I mention that Bill Blackley, the DPW director, is the new tree warden? That's who they appointed.
Oh,
Well, he already works for the town.
Oh, right. And I understand that he's gonna work on getting his,
They are basically in charge of all of the trees. Well, I guess they could do some trimming. I don't think he's an arborist.
he's not an artist.
But I know
understand
he
he's
is
gonna try
working
to
on
get-
some training, yeah.
Full certified. Yeah. Hopefully. Maybe know the right people to talk to when he needs it. Certified arborist.
But he's basically oversees the trees on town property and then the right of way. So if somebody,
But yeah, I guess it is kind of a good.
Yeah.
That's somebody that's that. You know.
yeah, he told me that that's actually the problem for the DPW. So the DPW is taking control. They are the ones out on the street every day, so it makes sense.
I know it.
He's been very helpful in a lot of projects.
Yeah, I think he's done it on some
Personal.
so out of curiosity, the Eversource prints and all that, who guides them, is that just their own, you know, they just crank out and do that, you know?
And I think, you know, when, the gentleman who was the tree warden before.
Jim Kiley?
Jim Kiley. I know when he's met with us, he said he had a decent relationship with them and they would try to confer, but I don't think we had much control. So it's probably something to bring up to Bill at some point to
Yeah, I was
establish a
gonna say,
relationship with
that's a lot of cutting.
Eversource, yeah.
When they come down our street, they usually leave something in the door before, a few weeks before they actually cut, asking for permission to do it. So I don't know if they do that with everybody's property.
It's not from Carolyn, it sounds like they do. I mean, we sit off, so I haven't experienced. Seen what they've done, but.
I think they do it if the tree, if the trunk is on your property, but the branches are in the lines,
Okay.
then they ask permission.
Oh, okay. If it's all in the town right away, then yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the, what's it, 15? No, it's more than that, it's 25 acres, for,
Differs
for
from
town
property
right
to
away.
property.
Yeah.
It's different. It's on your survey. Everyone's individual survey. Shows the property line, so there's no formula, there's no standard.
AI says, Eversource says they like to trim trees that interfere with their power lines or equipment, particularly those causing potential outages or safety hazards, but they must notify the property owner before work on a private property.
Yeah, that's too much.
Notify them to do it. Anyway.
I see that. I Googled something this morning and it says, AI says, yeah. Which they were using AI. Okay, let's move along. Conservation circular Saybrook events. So I haven't seen the events names.
I haven't either.
It
No,
should have been, I meant
Yeah,
to
right.
go back and look at Jennifer's list to see when it was supposed to be published. It's kind of late. I know, you know, it'll go out in dribs and drabs through the town, but
So it would have been due in February, March, April, and then it comes up 4 times a year.
sounds about, yeah, because I wrote an article for us, right?
Late February.
Yeah, it was late February.
It must have come out.
Yeah, sure, they're not March, yeah.
We haven't received it.
Maybe it's just late because it is early April,
Yeah, it
so
is
maybe
early
it just didn't come.
Yeah, there was a problem printing.
Hopefully it'll come before
I know.
there's an announcement about the fair.
Yes,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah.
So it'll be fresh in everyone's mind.
That's true.
If it comes before.
Yeah. Okay. And we can talk next meeting. I don't know that we have anything to put in. Because the May one will be things that will be in third quarter. Right? Is that right?
So
Yeah,
doing
third
May.
quarter. June, July, August, or August, whatever, third quarter. I don't think it's that much.
Yeah, So that'll be anything early fall, right?
Yeah, early fall. This one was. Even though it says Q2, it really is probably Q3, because the one coming out now is Q2. It's supposed to be out. Anyway,
Will it come out in January?
every quarter,
Right, I mean,
yeah, and it's usually in the earlier part of the quarter. For the most part, they're not, never right on time. When I know when I'm looking for something, that's when I go for it's late, so otherwise I don't always pay attention to it.
One thing I could think of would be that if you're doing a coastal cleanup, that you kind of keep getting away from it, right? The coastal.
For the septic, yeah, I mean, I think, I mean, we have a lot of cleanup going around on Earth Day anyway, so unless we found something really specific, that was more ocean related.
There's something that happens every summer in ocean. I can't remember the acronym, but I always go out in my kayak. It's like a big coast-wide cleanup along the waterways.
It's not September.
Yeah, early September.
Yeah, we kind of done a beach cleanup, but it is an ocean conservancy sort of.
Yes.
Right, yeah, I'm drawing a blank on. the acronym. Yeah, it's usually September. We have done it a couple of times. Commission webpage. Additional outreach. You posted something. Well, you posted our flyer for the environmental thing, the Facebook page.
Yeah, I've been posting a lot of stuff on Facebook. And I posted the environmental fair on the Conservation Commission webpage, but I don't have the traffic yet. I noticed that the Youth and Family Services page had this registration for our community email network on their page where people could sign up to be on a email list, basically. And that you had been discussing that. So I don't know if that was something that you might want me to look into. Would you want to put an opportunity for people to sign up for a mailing list? I mean, like an emailing list, not a postal list. Because I'm
If
putting
you
words
could
together.
ask them how they're doing it, because I think there's some different, what do I want to call it? I don't know, out of the corporate world, but I feel like you know, you can create lists, so it's not arduous that you're not putting someone's name in 100 names. Because they've got to be doing something like that, how they're managing it once they get the emails.
And then do you need the emails for some reason? Are you looking for an outreach list or not really?
We're gonna try to collect emails at the environmental fair.
Yeah.
I think if we're going to be putting together a newsletter, then we want more emails. We don't-
Yeah, that's true, because
Putting
it's
a
very
stack at
easy.
the library is,
Yeah.
you know, is nice, but it's,
Yeah, because we get it in PDF form and we should print.
so we would like emails.
The other opportunity is that Saybrook new website where you can put community events on their calendar, and that gets a lot of traffic too. So it's another way of reaching out to people about things that the commission's doing. If it's an event, that's more events.
That's, yeah, and I did that a while ago, stuck it out there on that calendar.
But if you're gonna just email information, basically, then
Yeah, I feel like that if we want to go to the effort of putting together a newsletter, that we should have a substantial email.
Yeah,
list.
okay, right, because it really kind of, that's one reason why I sort of lost energy trying to do one, because, I mean, we put it on our website, but every once in a while on Google, somebody says, oh, it's really circular. Like, okay, you people look at it.
all right, so I'll look into that and see if that's something that would be done, how to
And in the
manage
meantime,
those.
you're right, we're gonna collect names. People that are interested. You know, it'll be a little more directed. But there's something for next year's fair. if we do it. Yeah, you're right, you're right.
So, with that idea, where would it be? Would it be on your website or?
So every commission has their own page on the website. And there would probably just be, I don't remember exactly if the family had it, but there was a tab somewhere where it said you can sign up for it.
Okay.
More
Somewhere
information
at
on email.
be accessed by you or.
Yeah, that's what I
I've
wanted to
done this
ask. yeah.
before on the website and it just was a chunk from Constant Contact. So it just,
Yeah.
It just-
yeah, that's one of the-
that's where the emails landed. So, I mean, I suppose you could make, I'm not, if we don't already have an email, a way that we would be using that email, send, a Constant Contact or whatever the, the programs are. I'm not sure how easy it is to just suck an email into some spreadsheet from a website.
Yeah, no, I me too, I think,
They must do it.
I mean,
So they probably have a Constant Contact
Yeah.
or whatever the Go Monkey or whatever,
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
like,
that's right,
there's
there's
another,
there's
there's a
another
bunch
one,
of
yeah, I
different.
feel like it is monkey or
Has
something.
What I'm trying to get to is if you were able to do that prior to the event, you could create a QR code for it. And then when people came in, you wouldn't have to queue up to write their name on the list or something. They could just get the QR code and the info and
Put it in there.
like that.
Yeah,
People are getting pretty used to that.
that's not gonna happen before the 26th.
Yeah. And that,
Maybe next year.
having just gone through a whole bunch of fundraiser events, I am so anti-QR code right now. They do not want it now, and you have to really be careful because there's tons of scammings going on right now. It's convenient,
I know, I'm thinking clipboard's the way to go this time. Old school.
low, yeah.
Yeah.
It will break.
Tech at the moment, but no, it is, it's certainly the way a lot of people are going, but long time ago, tell me about QR code right now. Okay, yeah, I'll try to remember, look at this, their website, just to see what it's set up. Okay, all right. Environment and fair. So let's just start real quick with some of the real basics, and then we'll talk about who's all coming and confirmed, and, because I think the main thing that I know is on my head, and I know you had your Google Doc too, is lining up the presenters so that we get the time slots. I didn't know who all was.
Do you want me to pull up the Google Doc sheet or are we?
Yeah, no, yeah.
That's why I brought my
yeah,
computer,
yeah.
just because I can't really print it, it's sort of.
Yeah, I know, I tried one day too.
Yeah.
While you're doing that, so I wanted to say that, so I think based on what I was hearing from everybody, we have a fair amount of push out there for it. So it is in the Saybrook calendar, it's posted on our Facebook page. I did notice it on Needleman's newsletter. I don't know how many people get it. I think he grabs it off of whatever. But I was thinking about that if he didn't do it, but his one that just came up. It's Tuesday, is it yesterday or Friday? But he always listed at the bottom of his newsletter, stuff going on in the towns. So it's there. And yeah, we'll put it, it'll go up on the town kiosk things. When did they usually do it, the week of, or?
Would it be 6, 7, or 10 days
Something
before?
like that, yeah. So that's filled out and they have it. And then somebody did Harbor News, right? You did it.
Yeah, I've got the listing, and I'm submitting it tomorrow, requesting for the 17th and the 24th, and, the editor said depending on space, they sometimes will list it both weeks.
Okay. Because I know they have a
I
rule.
want to apologize for my overly urgent email, but I was having a really busy week and I was so afraid that nothing was gonna happen. Everybody jumped, so I thought, oh, I must have used some strong language, but I needed it. No, I really appreciate it, because I was looking at my week and I was like, we can't wait another week and we can't wait till the meeting, so thank you so much, and I'm sorry that I might have been a little short.
I thought the urgency was warranted.
Yeah.
Thank you. I know, I just had a week that was like not gonna allow me to. So.
Anita, you put it,
Yeah, so I sent the press release to the New Haven Register, Hartford Current, Shoreline Times, Middletown Press, People's Action for Clean Energy Events Calendar, New London Day. Sustainable CT is putting it on their events calendar. Jim Hunt actually emailed me today. WNPR, Connecticut Public Radio, Connecticut Public TV,
Wow.
WKSP, WTNH, WBIT,
Energize CT mobile exhibit, they have this bus that they bring around, so I reached out to them to see if they might come. So I'll let you know.
We have enough room.
Find out.
Did you, include Harbor News? Because you can also submit a press release. I can't hear you in that list.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
they're part of the Shoreline Times.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
great.
They've reached out, because I sent it out as a PDF, and then they asked me to send it back to them as a Word doc, so hopefully it'll get in there. And then I resent to everybody as a Word doc.
I got something
Awesome.
from NBC Connecticut.
Oh,
Oh, my email.
oh, good.
So from her.
Lori, I have an open question for you. So, Trent from the Saybrook school system said that he would promote it to all of the families
Okay.
in the schools.
So,
But I didn't know if we should include the press release or only the flyer.
um. Some votes, and because if he, he might be able to figure out which is most suitable for how they put things out,
Yeah.
so,
I'll send both.
thank you. Thank you. So, so we need to do the schedule of the,
Yeah,
of the
estimation,
presentation.
yeah. 'Cause I
Um,
think printing I've done, just quickly, I did the homegrown national park flyers that I had last time. So I went over to Staples and got those printed and all, and it's just fold them out, submit. I didn't get a ton. I just thought when they run out, they run out. I just, there's the idea of, and or certainly I think maybe I can create one bigger poster with their website to say.
I think we need to put out a logistics email to everybody pretty soon.
Yep.
And we could probably do that. You might be able to find a free email, I do a little research into the email program that might give us a chunk to ask for emails.
Okay.
Just because sending to a big list like this. And sometimes you get, anyway, what kind of logistics do?
Well, let's go back real quick to, can we just talk about who the presenters are and maybe just put that in, because those, I think whoever, like I'm in contact with a deep person and I just need to circle back to her, tell her. They were open, she was totally, she had no restriction to when she, at least the last night was 5 letters, so.
We want to send out reminders, right?
Mhm.
So all the folks.
That's what I was talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
I just said, yeah.
So
So
we
if you want to put together, because you're really good with logistics about that space and everything, maybe you might want to put together the,
Schedule for the people presenting?
no,
No?
what, everyone who comes should be told, you park here, this is how early you come,
Mhm.
coming through this door, tables will be set up or won't be, I don't know the details because you
Yeah,
went through.
okay.
So that's the kind of thing, we'll put together just a paragraph of information.
To
And
go
then-
out to, and then I'll send it to everybody so they can send it to their presenters.
We could do that, or I could
Or-
just send them all out,
Okay, then I'll just send it to you after I do it.
all the presenters.
Okay.
So we can
All the
do
ones
one,
having tables.
It's a reminder
Yeah.
with some arrival
Yeah.
information. Yeah,
right,
yeah.
exactly, all
Yeah.
that, anything,
Yeah.
you give them a hour ahead of time before the public comes to, anytime within that hour, they can come in and set
Yeah.
their stuff up.
Probably half hour is fine.
And
Are they having assignment tables? or
Yeah.
do You just come first come or second?
we should probably assign it, if we get there early, just to put even if it's just a piece of paper and say.
Because we do have groupings.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think we should,
Groupings together.
otherwise it could get chaotic.
yeah.
So start with those logistics,
Yeah.
ask anything to set up.
Yeah, yeah.
And who are the people talking? I guess I said presenters and that's everybody did, but there are people that are gonna like,
Speakers.
the speakers say, thank you. Who is speaking besides the deep,
Yeah, who's doing presentations? That's what I'm talking
Presentation.
about. Yeah.
None of mine are.
we've had at least.
Well, Kathy Connolly said she would,
Oh, yeah, that's right, Kathy Conley. Yeah.
And the deep, who's that?
It's, the wildlife, he sent it to me a while ago, but now I'm forgetting.
Deep Master Wildlife Conservationist Program.
Thank you, yeah. And they're gonna talk about
on,
wildcats.
well,
They're gonna talk about
Bobcats.
yeah. So that might be simple, and
So-
so if it's them and Kathy, that, I mean, we don't,
Right.
And
that keeps it easy.
Kevin offered to do one, but he said, you know, if there's not enough space on the environmental careers, he offered to do one if we wanted it and if it seemed relevant. Or he can just have a table.
That is something actually that we could, David, when you talk to Trent.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can pull out something separate for middle and high school, to say that there will be someone there to speak about environmental careers.
Oh, cool.
So that would be something that's particularly appropriate for a school announcement.
You can also make a loudspeaker announcement at the
Super.
high school, and I was gonna reach out to the middle school, I just thought I'd wait till later. Cause that, like at last month's meeting, I said I would.
Yeah.
But I was gonna wait a little bit, so.
Do you think it would make sense to talk to the guidance counselors about the fact that there would be someone at the event to talk about? Because they might already know students who they think might be interested in environmental, if they can just kind of get prompted to. look
Yeah,
into the
definitely.
event.
Yeah, I'll talk to them and I'll make an announcement.
Great.
So we
That's-
have, is your guy, your person, he's the one, sorry, I'm like, too many things in my head.
There's three that I included. One is, right, it's the Connecticut Water Engineering group from UConn, and they'll be talking about well testing.
Okay, so they will, oh, just at their table, okay.
Yeah, they're not presenting.
Okay.
And then the Master Gardener program, the Middlesex coordinator, will be there with two interns, Dave and Roy. And then the other is the kind of good garden,
Oh,
the
right.
president of the garden will be there with a few volunteers. And if I Columbus, I'll go to that one too.
We need the total number so we know how many tables to get out.
Yes, hopefully on your Google Doc thing.
Yeah.
The Bobcat, so it's probably just Bobcat, I'm just gonna call it that. I keep getting messed up, like, blah, blah, blah. Shouldn't say that. It's a good program, it's a great.
What about
program.
did you include the recycling or wet recyclers?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
You
never
were
did.
trying, Nina was trying.
Nina
there,
was-
and
I
you
have
couldn't do it.
15
All right.
confirmed.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So it'd be, and Kathy, so that's
We'll put a couple
two
extra out.
speakers.
Yeah, because there were a couple who were like.
Hey, Peter, sets up.
And then
tables, or
We do,
We have
So-
to set them up.
yeah,
So
So
we,
what, we have to get there at least an hour.
by 9 anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
So then maybe I'll tell, forget her name, it's gonna be coming, it's a young woman. I'll tell her to come on the early side, so if it starts at 10, people will be milling in and maybe have her talk at 10:30.
Yeah, if you want to wait till the
Yeah.
kids.
And then Kathy Connolly, as we said, just a half an hour block time, right?
Yeah, 20-minute present and
And
10-minute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Q&A, that's sort of what I had told her anyway, and then Kathy would be at 11.
So we have two,
As far as I'm
I'm
hearing.
afraid if we do it at 10, the first one at 10:30, that people won't be there. In the first half hour. of the
we do
event.
11:30.
Or
Yeah, that's,
give
I
it
just,
a little more space since there's no crush.
right.
Maybe
All right,
right in
okay, then I can
11
tell her
and
at
12.
11 and 12.
Yeah,
That's true too.
yeah.
Okay, so Kevin's not gonna do the presentation then, just.
Well, he
do a
could
table.
because there's
Yeah,
ample
they know
space to do it, so he
Yeah.
should,
If you want, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, if we do that, then we would want to know, so that we could put it in the school announcement. What time, right? Otherwise, he could just be going.
This is
Or he
the career fair
down
person.
The environmental career person,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So he can either just do a table, but he's willing to do a presentation if we wanted that, so that's.
I
It's
feel like,
better to just.
I
put
feel
it at
like
the
having
table.
them at the table, because then kids can come in.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
But I thought we'd do both.
But then the table wouldn't be
manned up for a half
Manned
hour,
for-
it'd be manned.
Yeah.
But you also could end up speaking to an empty room.
Yeah.
True,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the table's
I think
better.
I like that.
I think that's
They can
better.
ask very specific questions.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah, okay, okay, great.
Okay, so we'll just have 11 Bobcat, 12 Quad Copy.
Okay.
So what these speakers, where are they relative to the tables?
We haven't been told yet, but there's a row of classrooms not too far from the gym. So I'm assuming we'll have one of those rooms.
Yeah, so you're really gonna have to make sure you have direction. People are gonna need-
Well, that's what I was thinking about, even if we found a cheaper way to just even print some directional signs. Even if it is just on heavier stock paper, and putting them on the wall.
This is pretty big. The auditorium's pretty big.
Oh, it's a gymnasium?
Yeah, it's pretty.
Oh, yeah, it's big. We're planning on,
Speaker be at
Ask
one
more
end
about
of it,
that
giving
when-
the
when you get to
presentation so people know that they're there. I mean.
we could do that instead of a classroom.
Instead of a classroom.
The other thing is, there's a division wall. So we could do speakers on one side of the wall and the tables on the other.
Or just have, or if space is so big, just an open space, they could just do it at the end, you know, the screen. this thing.
Unless they need more quiet, you know, that's all I was thinking.
Well, that's
Yeah,
true, there may be a
I mean,
divider,
it's-
yeah.
who knows how many people feel at this point. We could have the influx of- Yeah, I don't want, let's not divide the gym, because I think
Yeah, I think-
then we'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
now we're all crammed in and.
But I
think,
just gotta make sure you got good direction.
Yeah.
So people know where the speaker is, otherwise there'll be nobody there, yeah.
Well, maybe if, Peter, if you want to arrange a time that we can pop over there again and talk to, is it Martin? Matt.
Yeah.
That he can just guide us to look at it one more time, now that we sort of know.
Yeah, think
Yeah.
about 15 tables or maybe more,
Yeah,
16
and,
of us, and maybe more, so.
And it, you know, can be like the
Yeah.
week before, I don't, well, maybe even sooner than that, but maybe we'll find a time that's good. Whoever's available, you can go over to Boulevard. He had tables, I don't remember where
Yeah.
they were, but they were all in the gym or they're in the middle room. And he also has a for a person that, you know, does, I think they would be there to help us. Did
Did you say that? Yeah.
Custodian, maybe not custodian. Remember, we were asking him about plugs and power, because that's the limiting thing that was in there. It's not a lot of power.
It's just like most schools, they have to have a custodian on duty
Yeah.
if the public's in the building.
Now they can part of, you know, 250.
I just figured, I think they waited to the rental fee.
Yeah, so we're paying for custodians, so that'll be good, which is good, actually. Of somebody there
That knows the
that
place.
knows what's going on.
I don't think that, I think that it's the dividers now, and I don't think it should be large enough. I just remember it being like small and the dividers.
Yeah. I think you're right, I think you're right. Yeah. It's hard to visualize it when you're in the big room, it seems huge, but I would kind of, if anything would make it narrow.
But before we had 16 speakers, we were concerned that we might only have 8,
Yeah,
you know, 8 tables, and it would look silly
yeah,
in the whole gym. But now that we're running big time,
yeah. Yeah.
So
Well,
we
we
could
can
see
spread them
the
out.
chairs in the gym because the lights out people requested 2 chairs with their people. I mean, I just don't know if we have chairs there, or do we have to?
no, we don't have to bring them. I'm sure they've got full
Yeah.
pictures.
They got chairs.
Yeah, okay.
It'd be nice to set up like chairs for where the presenter is too.
Yeah, there ought to be a couple chairs behind every table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could
Yeah,
they
because
use
it's
the
a long
bleachers?
time to stand on the street, yeah.
I assume the bleachers will be out. I don't think they push them back in every weekend.
They were not out when we went.
No, they were not.
Oh, they weren't.
Because it was, yeah, hopefully they wouldn't, because I think that would really. I don't know. I think people would say, but yeah. Really wonder.
A few people who are coming, who are going door prizes, which will help us get email addresses.
Yeah, Krista was gonna donate, tickets to, I think it's here.
So,
You want to Kate, so she's so, oh, yeah.
She did?
Yeah, it was, it was a one man.
Here,
Yeah.
Type thing, yeah.
how's the layout, people in the outside or inside of the table?
Probably something like a U or a horseshoe in 1/4 of the space, I'm thinking.
So they come to the middle and go to the tables or do?
Or use, you know, it's a four-corner gym, take one corner and do tables along two adjacent walls.
Okay.
Something
Yeah, I
like
think
that.
if that's why now that we sort of have a better visual of what we need, we can.
Does anybody have a portable speaker and microphone or access to? Because I'm thinking if there's a lot of people in there, we're gonna need something like that to get people's attention if we wanna say something for everybody to hear.
For speakers?
Yeah, portable speaker
They
and.
might have one there, if not.
Yeah, I think the high school has one, so I'm sure we do the middle school, but, yeah.
Most
Yeah,
schools
I
do.
would think, yeah, that's a good idea, just.
Yeah, just to let them know that
Just
the,
shouting doesn't do it.
Yeah.
the next presentation's starting or something.
Right.
Or,
Yeah.
So do we want tickets or how are we doing the door prizes?
You can buy that roll of raffle tickets,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I can probably get, last time, I think we did something at the library, I got actually. They raffle stuff all the time. I'll see if I can do it.
So the two-sided ones, and we only give them out to people who give us their email address?
We'll let you be the email
Well, I'm just, with it, you know,
guru.
usually there's some, you get,
You have to do
you have to do
something
something.
to get the ticket. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, makes sense.
Why don't we create little sign up forms and they have to fill out their information to put it into a pail or whatever, little bucket.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And then when we get
I
their
think
name,
so.
right now,
Right, yeah.
Yeah, then we
almost
don't,
like a teacup auction.
right,
Great idea.
yeah.
That keeps it
So
simple.
instead of the tickets, we'll, you actually get, that's, you know, putting in a business card is, you know, that's the kind
Yeah.
of thing, so.
Okay.
And I can create something,
Okay. All right. All right, so, so let's, going back to the table, chairs and tables thing, so Lynette, I know I don't have, Krista's email, but she did have it, I think she copied all of us, she had access to tablecloths and tablecloths, but she had easels.
Yep. She says she has 5 easels. She has, do you need 5?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
She has 8.5 by 11 acrylic frames, you know, those, it's like a picture frame, and just slide a sheet of paper into it and it stands up at the table and.
That'll be helpful, we can create a bunch of signs and we'll figure out what signs. we
Yeah.
want. That's.
Sure.
She has clipboards if you need them. Do you think you'll need clipboards? Anything? We need one for this, no, because
No,
we're going to sign up
now.
for.
Yeah.
Display cubes, I'm not sure what she meant by display cubes, but,
You don't need that, that's for items.
Yeah.
and then she has the gift bag. With the tickets. That's great. So the easels and the frames. Somewhere I have, it's in my office, I know, that banner that everybody bought, that the commission bought.
Yeah.
The big banner.
Yeah, for the table.
So this will be, you and I can work on offline, Lynette, or I don't know, yeah. So as part of the Preserve Management Committee, and certainly Kathy Connolly has been pushing, trying to get more stewardship, like everybody, right? To go
Yes.
there and to get rid of the invasives, and even just to help when anything is needed. And so I can coordinate with her, because I think we'll have a sign up for that, but Ray has a great poster of the Preserve the Map. And he said we could bring it, so I will get that from him, because I think that will just be great advertisement, and again, I'm not sure anybody needs to stand there, we just may have information, maybe Kathy will jump back and forth between the presentation and see what we're talking about, preserve, because she knows.
I wonder if this mailing list could be used as an outreach list for the stewardship. events.
Well, that's in her head. I'm sure she would love the names too.
That could be when people sign up for the raffle, if they know that that's part of it, then they're kind of consenting to.
Yeah.
Say,
It could be something like, you know, I care about the environment and I want to know more about how to participate in, or, you know, something that that makes it generic, right, so all.
All encompassing.
Yeah,
Would like more information.
we might like more information about how to, participate in
yeah, any
community events.
I don't know, if stewardship is broad enough. To say, it's not a better word, but I mean, it's sort of what it is, whether you're going to the town park or the preserve or helping with pollinator garden.
I think you know about community events, you know, I care about the environment and want to know more about
Or community, yeah.
these kinds of community events or
Yeah,
something
these
like
came
that.
In the newsletters too.
Because
Yeah.
if you say stewardship, some people know.
Yeah,
That means work elements. Even if it's tickets to the cake.
Yeah, good point, good point.
Are you good for meeting on the 21st? It's a Monday,
I think Mondays are pretty good for me. What time?
over at the gym. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know, I gotta check
mean, it'd
in.
be great to have.
So I
We're
can do
gonna have
it.
to get some nail down some details before this weekend,
Oh, yeah.
so that I can get the emails out early next week, I think would be a good time. So if we can get some logistics enough for, I mean, it doesn't have to be the final setup of the tables, but
Mhm.
just what people who are coming need to know about when to arrive and where to park and how to go in and all that stuff.
Okay.
Do you already know what that,
Uh,
no?
I mean, I have an idea.
Because I just haven't been
Well, they can
there.
park anywhere.
On the roof.
There's huge parking lots, and that's not, I think, and then I'm thinking, it may be even just a quick question to Matt to say,
The school's not in
We would
session.
go
so
through the
anywhere
main-
in the lot.
school door, I would assume, but I know.
Sometimes they have you go right into the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe that would be ideal.
That's probably what we'll do.
Yeah, so, and that, I don't even know where that door is, but that's where we could just get some arrow signs, to say.
When you go to vote, if you
Environmental
vote there, that's where you go through the gym door.
Mhm.
And they have half the gym set up for voting. And they have that wall up.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
That's the furthest part of the building down towards the end of the
Yeah,
street.
and that's the,
Oh,
That's
that
the
way, okay,
last.
okay.
If people could, if presenters could park maybe a little further.
That's
up
true. That
towards
would be
Main
something
Street,
we'd want to ask them
free
to.
up
Yeah.
visitors.
If they have equipment, they could drop it off. That's why I'm thinking half an hour might not be quite enough. I would like to give the presenters an hour before, that they may come in up to an hour before. Because people can bring, if they have
so
stuff,
we'll say something like, you'll know what your time frame needs are in terms of setup. But you're welcome to arrive as early as an hour in advance.
right.
Yeah, yeah,
Because-
Yeah, but some people,
Because
they
ideally,
can come in 10 minutes ahead of time and they're fine.
yeah.
right, but they can bring their stuff
Mhm.
to the door and then go park by Park and Rec or by the administration office.
Yeah, just a little further
to-
down.
Well, we're setting up here,
Yeah, yeah.
so we gotta be ahead of that.
Oh, we're,
Oh, yeah,
we're
we're
definitely,
Pretty early.
yes.
Well,
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I mean,
Talking like 8:30.
we're expecting all these people and I'd like to give it a little more time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's an hour.
Yeah, it's a good idea, you know, we can get,
Because we don't want people coming, the public coming while people are
That's
Right.
trying to park and set up and if you get out.
Yes.
Then people are gonna come early, you
Yeah.
know,
oh, yeah.
they're always,
So we'll do 8:30 for tables.
yeah, for setting up.
What time are they opening the building for you?
That's part of museum about, yeah.
Yeah. Great setup, okay. And Nina was just saying that, you know, we could always just have somebody out, a friendly husband or whatever, telling presenters how to park, just directing them.
I'm so used to being the parking advisor.
And
Doing parking everywhere. So we could do that. We could have someone, three people, you know, the presenters when they come in and then point to what, you know,
Yeah.
where they can park.
Yeah, that's probably easiest, because then you can just talk to it.
Yeah. They could drop off at the door and then.
Okay. So
So you want this information from me by when?
As soon as we get it.
And you don't want me to wait till then to meet with Matt? You want
No,
me to
if
meet
you wait till
sooner?
the 21st,
Too
that's
late.
too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And school's on vacation next week,
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. so how's this Friday? For you, Chris?
Yeah, I just had a meeting from 11 to 12, otherwise I'm
Okay,
open. It's a Zoom, so.
I'll try and, get them for then.
Wing it.
That's fine.
But I want to send something out. I mean,
I don't-
and I could make it all up, but it'd be easier if we have the,
For sure, yeah.
we can picture it before we let them
That's
know
called
where.
being
to
organized.
Thanks, Ron, I'm sorry, but if you need anything, just.
Okay, well, thank you for
Maybe, did you get my
volunteering.
email?
I'm sorry,
Did you get my email?
just now, or?
No, no, the other day. Seeing if I had to fill out any forms, I
Oh,
filled
yes,
out
you did.
your document, yeah. I don't know if I had to fill anything else, so I put it on your spreadsheet,
Okay.
yeah, so it's in there, is that enough? Or-
So I'm gonna meet with him
For the
before I
crosswalk?
can
Yeah.
get you that blurb. Because it will include.
All right, I don't know, to get any top form.
Right.
Answer for that.
Ideally, I mean, because it would.
So if I meet with him Friday, I'll get it to you Friday.
Or,
Yeah.
you know, I'll probably try to send it out on Monday.
Okay.
But that would be nice to have it in a couple of weeks, you know. Otherwise, we'll just do something sort of generic, you know, but, and wing it as we, and, you know, and have a few friendly husbands out front to redirect. Everyone needs one.
Mine is directly challenged, so I'm not gonna volunteer. You would probably help with something, but directing people would not be this forte. Okay, so I think anything else, we got the logistics down, we have the list on your Google Docs, I'll look at it. I'll circle back with Bobcat Lady and Kathy to tell them Bobcat's 11, Kathy at 12. Oh, I gotta make a note to get the map from, Ray.
Right.
I have it in here somewhere, but I have to organize that.
And Kathy may prefer one time over another, so maybe.
Oh, ask her first. Okay.
I
see
talked
if
to her
she can
months
make it
ago and there was, she might have been like headed off to something else or something, you know, so.
Okay, well, I'll just,
I may be wrong about
I
that, but I
haven't
vaguely
emailed her about
remember.
something anyway. I'll just ask her open-ended in a way to say,
Yeah.
what's gonna work best for you, And, you know, obviously not right at 10 o'clock, because people can be coming in, but it's sort of a 10:30-ish to 1 o'clock time. frame.
2 months ago, you had asked if the college equivalents have a table. I don't think we're gonna be able to because we have another event that day and I won't be there.
Okay, that's fine, we have a lot of. But I think the big thing would be to make sure that the school knows, especially the high school, about the, you know, someone there to talk about environmental careers.
So, I have an entomologist willing to
Uh-huh.
volunteer, and I think people say not the gardens, but the,
Yeah.
then who should contact you? Or who-
Huh. So,
May join the table. and-
right,
Oh, I see.
Right,
I see, I
right,
see. We can
yes.
go on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, he's, pretty well.
yeah,
The woman who is representing Middlesex County Agricultural Extension loves insects. Loves insects.
they can join
She would
forces.
be very happy to have this company.
Yeah.
That's great, that's great, that's
So is that with the garden?
tag team.
No, it's a Master Gardener program.
Yeah, but I mean, whose table would
That's-
be at that?
The
Master
Connecticut
Gardener
Master
table.
Gardener.
Okay.
That David Ray's wife, yeah.
Yeah.
The students or what did you call yourself? The other-
Interns.
Interns, sorry.
Okay, yeah, I'll let them know. He's fine in the-
Yeah,
That's
fantastic.
great.
Is
I
he
don't
bringing
think
any
that-
bugs?
Huh?
Is he bringing any bugs?
No,
That'll make it more.
he used to run a fair in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
They have a
yeah.
whole, they had a little Volkswagen people.
Oh, that's great.
He used to go around and do all this, but he had to leave that behind. He retired. He was at Penn State.
Excellent.
So he's retired now, but he's really bright. I mean, really knows everything about it. Everything.
Wow.
Is this Ed?
And,
Bishop? Yeah, yeah.
oh, you
He's
know,
in my neighborhood.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
lives
Yeah,
down
when
the
we're on
street
the
from me.
board of the beach.
Fenway, yeah.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Yeah.
He's a great speaker. Speaks very good. And you know, he's international. It's been all over the world. But he
Great.
knows a lot about the insects around here too.
Oh.
I think
Good.
that'd be a great.
Fun to have
asset.
him.
So if he's with the master gardeners, when you talk about pests, like insect pests, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, anything, he knows everything from pet bugs to exotic. Insects. Yeah, I think especially after he fought bees.
Oh, so he could do pollinators too.
Yeah, that was what he did his research. So he knows everything about bees.
Oh, real quick, I actually have to do a training class at 7, I gotta teach, but, I'm also willing to donate, and I was just sitting here thinking about, what the title is, but I'm willing to donate Doug Tommy's book to raffle as well, Nature's Last Hope, something like that. And it's up for anyone who's really, really into, well, he just has amazing information, because I know, you know, what you learn is it's not just pollinators, it's planting trees that attract the caterpillars of the birds eat, because that was something I never, ever thought about. And so it's nature's best hope. So if you think it would be interesting thing to know, yeah, I'll get it.
But who should contact you or who should Ed contact?
Oh, me, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll get your.
Yeah.
Anything else? So I think, yeah, we'll just stay in touch via email. You'll check with Matt to see if we can get in on the 11th.
Do we have, materials that we have at the town hall that are relevant that we're gonna bring?
Certainly could, we have lots of
Materials,
materials.
great stuff.
Oh,
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
Put on your table.
To put on.
For the
the table,
conservation
right.
day.
Yeah, and I think I gotta circle back with Chris. I know
Oh, the
she,
Conservation Commission.
Yeah.
yeah, she wants to, we
I
can
just
sell
remember
the
picking up
tree,
what they were,
the
there's a
tree,
lot of
the
great
town,
material.
Kathy's book. They got a lot more copies.
That's
She
right,
did
we saw
that
them.
made several weeks ago. And, she said, we can't give her away for free anymore because they cost like $20. I think they're 19 of them, she's gonna come out for 20, so.
22.
Whatever.
I'll find out.
I know I wrote it down.
19 would be better.
Well, yeah, I mean, just, you know, I mean, that would be, because I know
If
she
we could do
called me.
20, that would be nice. It's a lot easier.
Easier,
I
right?
know it is.
Find out about-
I'll
Yeah, ask her, yeah, and then, because I know she was gonna bill Conservation Commission initially to sort of give us the copies, and then she would reimburse us. Because we can't really take money, obviously, we can't.
Yes,
We can take it cash, the whole Conservation.
not unless it's pollinator garden.
Yeah.
So the pollinator plaques will be at that table too then.
At the Conservation
Yeah,
Commission table? Yes. So,
Maybe two.
Or need a table and put it in.
And
you know,
two.
the,
Yeah.
oh, no, I mean the tree garden. I've been taking them to the library on Thursday.
Oh, so they're not.
Well, we should have some. We printed 40.
Okay.
Bring that over.
They're ready to teach computers.
Motion to adjourn.
It's fine.
I think
They're all still here.
I know.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Really? Oh, I know, thank you. I get so-